Ansar Hussain As-Salam, Ansar Hussain As-Salam.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen, habib qulubina Muhammadin al-Mustafa wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Ar-Rahmanu 'allama al-Qur'an, khalaqa al-insan, 'allamahu al-bayan. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. In this session, I want to talk to you about the status of the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But before we talk about the status of the companions, we need to talk about the status of Imam Hussain himself. Of course, I cannot do justice to the status of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, but as we say in Farsi, if you cannot drink the whole ocean, at least drink enough to quench your thirst. So let's take a sip of this huge ocean, infinite ocean of merits of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So the first thing to talk about is, what are we talking about when we talk about status and closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What does it mean? How do we get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do we gain status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I'm going to give you an oversimplified picture because it's a vast topic, but for the purpose of this talk, I'm going to give you a very simplified picture. While we're in this dunya, we have covers and veils that blind us from seeing higher realities. And we have chains and shackles that ground us and prevent us from ascending into Malakut. These chains and shackles and covers can be wrong beliefs, can be wrong habits and attitudes, can be wrong actions, can be attention to lowly things, can be love of lowly things, etc., etc. And the way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to get rid of these covers and veils. And one thing to note here is both the side of the belief and the attention and the side of action, they both matter in this journey. So no one can say that I have correct beliefs so I can do whatever I want. And no one can say I'm doing the right things so I don't have to have the right beliefs. They are the two wings, if you will, of ascending to Malakut. So you need both of these. Now, when we think about awliya and anbiya, we know that they don't have wrong beliefs. They don't have wrong habits. They don't do wrong actions. So they have the base of beliefs and actions covered. But do they all get to manifest and express all of the good qualities that they have? Do they get to do all the good things in the world? No, that's their difference. So their statuses with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala differs based on the things that they get to and succeed to manifest, based on their situation, based on their context, based on their situation. For example, our Prophet salawatullahi alayhi has the highest status because he was burdened with the most difficult mission of cultivating and nurturing Tawheed, the seeds of Tawheed, in the driest desert. And I don't mean the physical desert of Arabia, but the ignorant people that he had to be among. So he had to start the deepest journey and get it going in that context and in that foundation, which is the hardest mission. And no one shares this quality with the Prophet, so no one shares this virtue. Or Imam Ali alayhi salam, he sacrificed his life on many occasions for the Prophet. This is just one of the merits and virtues of Imam Ali that no one shares with him. So no one has this status. And Imam Hussain alayhi salam is the same. He is very special. He has done things, he has, based on his status, based on his situation, he has manifested and expressed qualities that no one else succeeded in history. All the Anbiya, all the angels, they have mourned for Imam Hussain. Our Prophet, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Lady Fatima, they all knew the story of Karbala and they all wept and mourned for Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When Imam Hussain started crying at the deathbed of Imam Hassan alayhi salam in his last moments, Imam Hassan alayhi salam told him, La yawmaka yawmaka ya Aba Abdullah. There is no calamity that comes close to your Ashura, ya Aba Abdullah. So everyone is mourning for Imam Hussain. He is the center. And without Imam Hussain, what do you think would be left of Islam as we know it? Yes, we would have some ahkam, we would have the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt, which is being neglected even now by most people. But would we have this deep understanding of who the enemy is, where the love of dunya and haram will ultimately lead to? Would we have this passion and excitement for religion, for spirituality? Would getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be this accessible without Imam Hussain for most people? It is narrated that when Imam Zaman comes, he introduces himself with Imam Hussain. He says, Ya Ahl al-Alam, ana al-Mahdi, inna jaddi al-Hussain qataluhu atshana. O people of the world, I am Mahdi. My grandfather Hussain was killed while he was thirsty. And when you want to introduce yourself, you introduce yourself with something that is more well known, right? So this means that Imam Hussain will be well known to the whole world by then. There's a narration that someone came to Imam Sadeq alayhi salam and said, I am your Shia, I love you, Ya Aba Abdullah, which is the kunya of Imam Sadeq alayhi salam as well. But there's something I'm ashamed to tell you. There's something that I'm uncomfortable with. Imam says, don't be ashamed when you're with us. So he says, I really love the Prophet. I love Imam Ali. I love your mother, Fatima, salamullah alayha. I love Imam Hassan. I love Imam Sajjad. I love Imam Baqir. I love you from the bottom of my heart. But I love Hussain more. Imam Hussain alayhi salam has a special place in my heart. Is there something wrong with me? And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, you're fine. We Ahlul Bayt love Imam Hussain alayhi salam in a different way as well. We love him more as well. So this is the status of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Now, going to the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, were they just really good mu'mineen, or were they something different? What is the status of the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam? Someone asked about the companions of Imam Hussain, asked Imam Sadiq this same question. And the first sentence that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says is, إِنَّهُمْ كُشِفَ لَهُمُ الْغِطَاء. The covers were removed for them. And we said that this is the highest level. If you want to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to get rid of the covers. And Imam here is saying that the covers, all the covers were removed for them. So they have achieved the highest status before even getting killed for Imam Hussein and in front of Imam Hussein. So this is the status of companions. We have this also in Ziyarah Nahiya Muqaddasa from Imam Zaman Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajah. Imam says, Ashhadu laqad kashafallahu lakumul ghita. I bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has removed the covers for you. And we can have a dedicated lecture for this sentence alone. But in short, this is the status of Anbiya and Awliya. Having the covers removed, not having a cover between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the status of Anbiya and special Awliya. So when you hear the story of Karbala, imagine how profound it would be if 72 or 100 prophets were killed alongside Imam Hussein, not just 72 normal mu'mineen. Another way of looking at the way to get status is looking at wilaya, looking at connection. So who are you connected to and how well are you connected? Allahu waliyul ladina amanu wal ladina kafaru awliyahum at-taghut. So who are you connected to? Are you connected to Allah? Are you connected to Ahlul Bayt? Are you connected to Taghut or Shaitan? Who are you connected to? Where are your connections? Where is your heart connected? So Ahlul Bayt have the highest status because they are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they have the highest status because they have the strongest connection, strongest wilaya to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ahlul Bayt, companions of Ahlul Bayt, have this relationship with and through Ahlul Bayt. So companions of Imam Hussein with this special status of Imam Hussein that we've established have this connection with and through the best ark of salvation. So that base is covered again. But how strong is their wilaya? How strong is their connection? Are they like other companions of other ai*imma? How hard should the situation get for them to start having issues and problems? Will they ever? So just as a thought experiment, try to imagine the closest connection, the strongest connection, the closest relationship. Imagine connection between two things, them having a strong connection. Try to picture this. So they will get closer and closer and the link will get stronger and stronger. What is the ultimate closeness? Is it just the two things having nothing between them, not even the link, just touching? Is that the closest they can get? Is that the strongest relationship? There's something still stronger than this, and that is unity, oneness. When there is no longer two things, it's just one. That's the strongest connection. And the way to get there is sacrifice, a word that you easily might associate with Karbala. First, you sacrifice your desires for the desire of the beloved. Then you sacrifice your will for the will of the beloved. And the story and the journey of sacrifice goes on. And the last step to get there, to become one, is to sacrifice your existence and to dissolve in the ocean and stop being a separate drop of water. So let's take a brief look at a few examples, at a few things that help these companions get so close to Imam Hussein, and a few manifestations of this sacrifice that come in the form of love and affinity and humbleness and courtesy and staying with the Ahlul Bayt through hardship and even perceiving joy and ease in the time of hardship. So one of the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is called Hilal ibn Nafir. He gives a speech in their first days in Karbala, and in part of that speech he says, Nuwali man walak wa nu'adi man adak. We are friends with your friends and we are enemies with your enemies. And this might sound like a very normal sentence that even we can say. But you have to have a couple of things in mind. First, we say things like this and we hear things like this a lot because we've been taught for hundreds of years with ziyarat of A'immah. But these people, these are the pioneers of this mode of thinking, of this type of relationship with A'immah. These people weren't at ease like we are. These people were with A'immah when no one else was, and they were so strong in their relationship with A'immah. Another thing is, I might say this in ziyarat, I might repeat this, but do I really mean it? Do I apply this in my day-to-day life? They have actually showed, they have proven with their actions that they are sacrificing their lives for A'immah. So they are honest in their claims. Now with this introduction, when we look at this sentence again, we are friends with your friends and we are enemies with your enemies. This means that I don't have anything. I don't even have emotions of my own. My emotions are your emotions. My relationships are your relationships. If you're friends with someone, I take them as a friend. If you're enemy with someone, I take them as an enemy. This is one level of unity and oneness. Another companion of Imam alayhi salam is called Burayr. He says in part of his speech, Wallahi yabna Rasulillah, laqad manna Allahu bika alayna an nuqatila bayna yadayk. Oh, yabna Rasulillah, son of Rasulullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done us a huge favor by letting us fight and get killed in front of you. So not only he's sacrificing, he's not seeing this as like doing Imam a favor. He's seeing this as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doing him a favor, being honored to be able to go through this hardship and sacrifice his life for Imam alayhi salam. So this shows the sincerity and purity of this sacrifice. Another amazing companion of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is the black slave of Abu Dhar, which we mentioned in the last session. He's called John, and when the battle started in Ashura, Imam Hussain alayhi salam told him, you have permission to go because you were supposed to work for us. You are not supposed to give your life for us. So you're allowed to go. And John gets upset. He says, how can I benefit from you in the times of ease and leave you in the time of hardship? I know that I'm black. I know that I don't smell good. I know that I'm not from a good lineage. But I cannot leave you until my blood is mixed with your blood. So this shows the level of humbleness, courtesy of John towards the Imam. Even though that color of your skin or your lineage cannot affect your status, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The only thing that matters is taqwa. But he's mentioning these to show his humbleness, to show humility in front of Imam. And this just shows his high status in front of the Imam. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم منا جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقينا وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد منا لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.